Welcome to the Seasoned Apologist Live, where we delve into the core essentials of the Christian faith, answer questions, address doubts, and engage with people from all walks of life. Whether you're a believer, an atheist, a Muslim, or a skeptic, this is a space for open dialogue, reasoned arguments, and thoughtful reflections. In our episodes, we explore foundational Christian beliefs like the Trinity, the Incarnation, and the Resurrection. We tackle common objections to the existence of God and engage in meaningful conversations with atheists and skeptics. We also have enriching dialogues with Muslims, sharing and comparing our beliefs about Jesus, salvation, and Scripture. Our goal is to provide insights and answers, helping you defend your faith or explore new perspectives. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. Subscribe, share, and be part of our community. Keep asking, keep seeking, and keep believing. The Seasoned Apologist Live, where faith meets reason and dialogue drives discovery.
To Seasoned Apologist Live today. My name is Koridela Wayne. This day the Lord has made, rejoice and be glad in it. And I want to welcome each and every one of us to the program tonight. How has been your day? How has been your journey? I hope it's been fantastic. It's been beautiful. Of course, we've not been on air for I think 2 or 3 Sundays, but we're so grateful to God for the opportunity that we have today to be online. And I want to give thanks and appreciate the Lord for people like you who have us in mind. Some, I usually pray for us. Some are also watching out for us. It's been a while. We've seen you and all of that, but we're so grateful to be online today. And if you're joining us for the very first time, this is the Seasoned Apologist Live. Okay, so what we do right here on the show is to talk about the Christian faith, to help the Christians to understand their faith and how to defend it as well. And in defending the faith, we actually explore and we engage worldview, different worldview. We engage with the atheists, with the Muslim, and also with the agnostics. And not forgetting also the ATR Aries. Yes, we engage with them as well. So if you're joining us for the very first time, you're going to enjoy being here today. Now, the topic of today's discussion is such an interesting one. The reason why it is interesting is because it's such a very controversial one within Islam itself. But I'm not going to be saying so much about it because we have somebody who will be helping us, to expand on this particular topic and then to also give us an idea of what this topic is all about. Of course, we're talking about Mut'a in Islam, okay? And that's primarily what we're talking about. And as you know, or as some of you might be guessing, Mut'a is a sort of temporary marriage in Islam. But more about that will be coming up. So I have the privilege and the honor to have in the studio right here a dear brother, fellow apologist and friend, Bro TMD. Bro TMD, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening. Good. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the very first time we're going to be having Bro TMD on the Seasoned Apologist Live, like during a session. Am I mistaken about that?
Yes.
Have you been on here before? No. I mean, to do a session. All right.
No.
Okay, so brilliant and awesome. And we're excited to have you right here, Bro TMD, on the show. And I want to use the opportunity to also welcome those who are joining us right here. Thank you for joining. Bro Ojoawu, thank you for joining. God bless you. We also thank you, Bro Koning. Bro Tony Colon, thank you for joining us. And thank you also, Oni Oland, thank you for joining us. Aruno GB, thank you for joining us. And for everyone who will be joining us on the program later, we appreciate you for joining us. Now, Bro TMD, before you delve into this topic of discussion, I usually like to ask my guests the reason why we're talking about the topic we're talking about. So can you tell us the reason why it is very important for us to discuss the issue of Mut'a? Because as Christians, I mean, Mut'a does not have anything to do with us. Okay, so why are we discussing the issue of Mut'a? In just 1 minute before you go into your your discussion, why do we need to talk about this particular topic? Yeah, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good evening to every listener at home. How was your day, and how is the day ending? And I pray that the new week ahead will be blessed for every one of us. The question you asked me is a very important one, and the major reason, is not actually to attack the Muslim, but to show how immoral Islam is. And even we are going to
Mm,
identify our aims and objectives when we are doing the presentation. And number two, to prove
awesome.
that Allah cannot be true God, because true
Mm,
God cannot use immorality to solve immorality. True
mm,
God condemn immorality, and he stand on it throughout,
mm.
even up to our church, our apostolic father and the church fathers, they condemn immorality. And today we can open our Bible, you read from Paul why we should not allow immorality among us. So those are the
Mhm.
reasons why we are going to identify those aims as we go on. Thank you very much, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I guess are already waiting. Sorry, our audience are already waiting, and I know that they are excited for this particular topic. They don't want to wait any longer. So I'm just going to give it over to you right now to lead us on this particular topic of Muta in Islam. So over to you, Brother Timdi.
Thank you very much. All right. Once again, good evening. Let me quickly make this claim on time. If we cannot finish today, I'm willing to come back because we have robust materials to go through. So,
Beautiful.
God willing, I would love to come back next Sunday to finish up. When I presented it the first time, I did it twice, and it was awesome. So I want everybody to be part of it and not missing any part of this discussion. So please pay attention, and also try and call your friends and families, especially those who are Muslim, to join you to watch this. So the topic of today is Mut'a. So, and I call it Allah and sex on demand in the Quran. Actually, is supposed to be Allah and sex on demand in the Islamic sources, because it's not restricted to Quran alone. So kindly give me 30 seconds. I want to plug my laptop. Is saying I have low battery. Please, you can interject. You can please bridge the gap, please.
Are you seeking answers to the toughest questions about Christianity? Do you wrestle with doubts? Or are you curious about what Christians believe and why? Whether you're a skeptic, an agnostic, an atheist, or someone from another faith tradition, you're in the right place. Welcome to Seasoned Apologist Radio, your destination for thoughtful, engaging, and robust defenses of the Christian faith. At Seasoned Apologist Radio, we bring you clear, compassionate, and compelling conversations that address the deepest questions of life and faith. Our mission is to equip believers, engage seekers, and respectfully challenge skeptics. With a lineup of experienced apologists, renowned scholars, and passionate speakers, we explore the evidence for God's existence, the reliability of the Bible, the truth of the resurrection, and much more. We dive into debates, share personal stories, and provide thoughtful answers to your pressing questions. Tune in for live shows, engaging interviews, and insightful lectures. Join our community of listeners who are committed to seeking truth and understanding in a world of diverse beliefs. Whether you're questioning your faith or looking to defend it, Seasoned Apologist Radio is here to support you. We believe that truth stands up to scrutiny, and we invite you to scrutinize with us. This is Seasoned Apologist Radio, where reason meets faith and everyone's questions are welcome. Listen live at www.seasonedapologist.com or download our mobile app, Seasoned Apologist, on the Play Store, and follow us on social media handles for updates, resources, and more. Together, let's explore the depths of the Christian faith.
So you're welcome back. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is the Seasoned Apologist Live, and we have no doubt that our dear brother right here, Bro Tim D is right here with us. Bro Tim D, are you with us right now?
Yes, I'm with you. Thank you very much. Sorry for
Awesome. Please,
the.
it's okay. It's okay. Over to you now.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm back. So what I was saying the other time was that I'm supposed to call it Allah and sex on demand in the Islamic sources, because it's not limited to Quran alone. But please pardon me for that, and at least we go on with it. So what is Mut'a? We will quickly talk about the component of it, then we move on. So temporary Nikah Mut'a is known as temporary marriage, and is a marriage that is of a fixed time arrangement, and the one of the party, which is the male party, we have to make a payment on agreed amount in advance for the woman, and also at the time of the set period for the marriage, when it is elapsed, the marriage automatically dissolved without involving any witness or any form of formality like it happens in the other marriage. So, like I said the other time, we have objective. Number one, to expose the base religion methodologically, then to prove a meticulously knowledge of the subject at hand, as to assist people see through the lies, deception, and denial of those who act as a defender of the Islamic faith. Because some people defend it. They defend it to say that actually it was something that was existing before Muhammad, and it was carried over and it was allowed for some time, so that later on they can allow it to fade out away. We will raise some tough questions along the way and see why this cannot be the answer. Then, to help our listener at home to see Islam as it is truly is. So, definition of Nikah. Nikah, like I said the other time, people have derived several meanings from it, like fixed term marriage, from its component. Because of the component, what constitutes it, people derive it as fixed term marriage. Some people say it is a temporary marriage, but the real meaning of Mut'a is pleasure or fun sex, or fun pleasure, or pleasurable marriage. So in this, we have the essence. What are the essence of Nikah? Nikah Mut'a. It is based on contract between a man and a woman with a fixed date of expiration. We have man and woman will become stranger to each other after the expiration of that union. Then during the time I was doing my research, it got to a stage I have to verify the meaning to see that I'm not out of scope. So, and I went online and I saw a particular thing on the Wikipedia to buttress my point. As you can see on the screen, you can see Nikah Mut'a, which was defined as literally fun sex or player marriage, and it is called temporary marriage, and on and on. And if you read it down, you see that Mut'a, which we call dowry, must be specified and agreed upon in advance. So the meaning is not different from what we have. It is fun sex. That is the definition. The real and literal meaning is fun sex. Please wait. How can someone be having fun sex in marriage outside his own marriage? We will still see. Then during the time they want to have an agreement with each other, there is a conversation that must be based on. The woman will say, I marry you to myself on such and such a doer, and for the unknown for a known period of time. And the man will say, accept you, and they will exchange he will give her the Mut'a, or what we call dowry. Then at the same time, we have the woman becomes the wife of the man, and the man becomes her husband till the end of the period specified in the contract. Also, the Mut'a can be contracted for a night. I call it one night stand. Like, all this, I've not been to, thank God I've not been there, but I will never be there in my life. But I've had people talking about how hotel look like, or motel, where you can enter and negotiate price with a prostitute and say, okay, I'm going to use you for so number of minutes and I'm going to give you so number of, so each of a month. So it is contracted for a night, month, few days, few years or so, depending on the agreement. And as soon as this period is over, the marriage is automatically terminated. Then the Muslim man could leave her without any further commitment. Even there is something I'm supposed to include. If the woman give birth to a female child and the female child grow up later on and you desire her, because it's not, according to Islam, it's not your blood, it's not your real daughter, you can engage her in sex again and have sexual intercourse with her. No divorce is necessary to terminate this marriage. Now, what is very disgusting there that make me to also focus on this is that Allah himself was involved in this. Allah involved himself in this. How can a God involve himself in phone sex? Now, let's look at what Allah say. Mut'a was said by Allah to be among the good things of Allah. That was what Allah said. In Surah 5, Ayah 87, we read that, "O you who believe, forbid not the good things which Allah has made lawful for you, and transgress not. Lo, Allah loveth not transgressor." I know many people want to ask that, how is this, where is Muta in this verse? Why is it like that? How can we say it is about Muta? Well, we will soon see it now. We will have something called Asbabun Nuzul, or we have some ideas that validate this verse. But before we go, let's quickly talk about what happened between the Sunni and the Shia, because as at now, Shiites are still practicing this form of marriage, even though some Sunni are still enjoying it, but in this guy, they don't want to show it, but they are enjoying it. So among the Sunni and Muslim, there is agreement and disagreement. The agreement is that Allah permits, the Muslims believe that they did not disagree to its original permissibility, that is, it was allowed for them during the lifetime of the Prophet. Sunni believe that in spite of its original permissibility in Islamic law, it was later abrogated. The question is, who abrogated it? We will soon see. The Shiites reject the view that it was abrogated because they believe that whatever Allah has said cannot be abolished. If Muhammad did not abolish it, and Surah was not revealed to abolish it, no one can abolish it. Even to today, the Shiite, like I said, are still practicing it in some part of the world, and Shiite leaders claim it is still in force and legitimate in Islam. So let's read again what the verse said. He said, "Oh, you believe, forbid not the good thing which Allah has made lawful for you," and on and on. So let's look at the historical context of this verse, Surah 5, Ayah 87. And it's in Sahih Bukhari, volume 7, book number 62, number 130. We read that we used to participate in the holy battle led by Allah's apostle, and we had nothing, no wives with us. So we said, shall we get ourselves castrated? He forbade us that, and then allow us to marry women with a temporary contract and recite to us, "O you who believe, make not unlawful the good things which Allah has made lawful for you, but commit no transgression." The first time I presented this, a Muslim raised an objection. He said the word used for good things there is plural, not singular. That means that it should be castration and some other things. Then he lied. Then we've rebutted that. Actually, what was made unlawful was duty of donkey, Mut'a, and what is it called, garlic, but it was not abolished. It does not make unlawful that they should not practice it, because it was something that was brought in and left out and brought in again, like off and on. So we read again from Sahih Muslim, book number 8, number 3243, that they went for an expedition with Allah and messenger, and we have no women with us. We said, should we now have ourselves castrated? The Holy Prophet forbade us to so he then granted us permission that we should contract a temporary marriage for a stipulated period, giving her a garment. And Abdullah then recite this verse: "Those who believe do not make unlawful the good things which Allah has made lawful for you, and do not transgress. Allah does not like the transgressor." As you can see now, we have the historical context. So the above hadith shows that Allah revealed a Quran verse authorizing the practice of Mut'a. as we have seen in Sahih Muslim and we have seen in Sahih Bukhari. In fact, the Quran made us to understand that it was the good things of Allah that Allah are enjoying on them. And in fact, the Sahih Muslim we read said that they used to contracted the marriage using a garment. And we also have another hadith, which I will skip. I will show it on the screen, but I will skip because of my time, that they used to use the handful of grain to do the contract, to do the contract. Now, I want to quote another scholar, Imam Fakhruddin Razi. He was 12th century senior Islamic theologian. He was also very, very known, and he was known as a traditional Islamic field of Sharia, which we call Islamic law, in fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, and also in tafsir, which we know as exegesis of the Quran. He says something. He said, no Muslim dispute that Mut'a marriage was allowed in early Islam. The difference is whether it has been abrogated or not. Now, in the same book, Imam Fakhruddin added, Imam Ibn Husam narrated, the verse of Mut'a was revealed in Allah's book. That was why I was able to say in the Quran, but I didn't know that I was supposed to say in Islamic sources, because I know that Allah revealed it. So this particular source made us understand this verse was actually revealed in Allah's book, and there did not came any other verse after that to abrogate it, and the prophet ordered us to do it. So we did it at the time of Allah's apostle. That means at the time when Muhammad was still alive, they did it. Even after he said, we'll soon see that. In Sahih Muslim, book number 8, number 3246, we read that there came to us the proclaimer of Allah Messenger and said, Allah Messenger has granted you permission to benefit yourself. Read that. Benefit yourself, that is to contract temporary marriage with women. So Allah revealed the verse to establish Muta. Muhammad establish it and popularize it among his people. So now let's see it as a command from Muhammad himself. In Sahih Bukhari, volume 7, book number 62, number 52, we read that while we were in an army, Allah apostle came to us and said, you have been allowed to do Mut'a, so do it. Do it. Then we read, Allah apostle said, if a man and a woman agree to marry temporarily, their marriage should last for 3 nights. And if they like to continue, they can do so. And if they want to separate, they can do so. So Muhammad actually commanded it. Is a command from Muhammad. So if there's a difference between commanding something and permitting something. So this time around, we knew that it wasn't just permission, it was a command, an order, because Muhammad understand that it was Allah's command that you have been allowed to do Mut'a, so do it. I'm going to quote another the testimony of another scholar. They call him Subura al-Juhani in Sahih Muslim, in his Arabic. It's a Kitab al-Nikah, hadith number 3490. We read, Allah Messenger order us to contract temporary marriage. And also in another one, we read that Subra bin Mabad reported that Allah apostle order his companion to contract temporary marriage with women. Please, I want us to note something, because there is a scam going on in the English translation of this particular hadith. They used to put the word permitted in the verse, but in the original Arabic, the word ameron does not mean permitted. It means order or command, and that was why I put the lexicon there. We have a lexicon from by Answare Dictionary of Modern Written Arabic. It defines amron as a command, order, or decree. Lane Lexicon, which is a classical Arabic dictionary, also said that word means command, order, and injunction. Then we have Al-Warid, Arabic English Dictionary. It defines it as command, order, or directive. So you can see the emphasis on this word, that it does not mean just a permission. You can do it, then we can now abrogate it or take it away later. So what is more damaging here that I want us to get as a point is that Allah sanctioned Mut'a by revealing the Quran verse, even consider it as among the good things of Allah, Then number 2, Mut'a was practiced during the time of Muhammad under his direction. Number 3, it was initiated for the sole purpose to satisfy the sexual urge of Muslim. Muhammad commanded Mut'a as a benefit for Muslim men. And lastly, he ordered it for his follower to do it. The question is that if Allah allowed this, what about the women? If a man can go out of his house for some days and he has sexual urge and he was able to contract marriage, what about the wife he left at home? That means Allah is unjust. Allah does not know the feelings of women. Because if he knows the feeling of women, women also have urge for sex. So what if the woman have urge for sex? Should he also have contracted Brother Dauda beside his house or Brother Shenabu beside his house to do that? It won't have been wrong. But why is it that it is only men that Allah focus on? So Allah does not even know the women, emotion or how they feel about sex sometimes. So also we read in the Sahih Muslim, this is getting more interesting here because we are going to look at some because Muslim will tell you that it was been abrogated, especially the Sunni Muslim, but this particular source from their hadith, Sahih Muslim, volume 3, page number 553 and 554, emphasize that it is off and on. They take it, they do it, and they do it at the time they needed it. We read that contractual marriage was lawful before the campaign of Keiba, then it become unlawful in the day of the campaign. It doesn't say it was abrogated. It said it was made unlawful. Then it was made lawful again in the day of Mecca conquest. And after 3 days, he prohibited it. The episode concerning the lawfulness, that is contractual marriage, in the day of the conquest are not ambiguous, and it's not permissible to forfeit it. There is nothing that may inhibit the repetition of practicing the contractual marriage again. And God is the omniscient, and scholars have agreed to regard the contractual marriage as a temporary legal marriage, which does not entail any inheritance. The separation occurs as soon as the date of the agreement expires, and it does not require any legal divorce. Ibn Abbas used to preach its lawfulness. That is, Ibn Abbas himself, who is the cousin of Muhammad, preach it even that it is lawful to have that kind of lifestyle. Let's quickly look at Ibn Kathir, what he said concerning this. Ibn Kathir was quoting Ibn Abbas. He said, Ibn Abbas and other Sahabas said that Mut'a can be utilized when needed. Ibn Abbas also narrated the same. We read also from the biography, the prophetic biography, which was written by renowned scholar that we know, that's Ibn Kathir. We read that the prohibition of the contractual marriage took place in the day of Keiba campaign, yet it had been established in Sahih of Muslim that Muhammad allowed them again to sign a contractual marriage in the day of Meccan conquest. Then he prohibited it. The Shafi said, I do not know any other thing which was made lawful, then prohibited, then made lawful again, then unlawful except the contractual marriage, which was prohibited in the year in which Mecca was conquered. Then after that, it became lawful. It became lawful. Let's look at what Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya said in his book. He said that after the death of the Muhammad, Ibn Abbas made it lawful when there was a need for it. He used to say that the apostle prohibited it when it was dispensable, but it was made lawful when it became necessity. He continued. He said that on the page 461, he said, Ibn Masud said, I made it lawful when it became indispensable for men. Also, in Imam al-Badawi, in agreement with what we just read, in his book, The Interpretation of al-Badawi, page number 108, he said that the purpose of the contractual marriage is the mere pleasure of intercourse with women. Can you read that? Mere pleasure of intercourse with women. I said it so many times that in Islam, there is nothing called marriage. Marriage that they call marriage today means sexual intercourse, which is nikah. The original Arabic word for marriage is nikah. Zawaj. And inside Zawaj, we have nikah. That is, you must have sexual intercourse when you are married with a woman. That is Zawaj. But when you isolate nikah out of Zawaj, then it becomes something that is, we call it sexual intercourse. So if you are a woman and your Muslim man is say, I want to do nikah with you, and you also do an invitation, I want to do nikah, you are telling them that you want to go and have sexual intercourse. That's what you are telling them. That's just a side note anyway. So in another one we read in Sahih Muslim, book number 8, number 324, it was reported that Ibn Jarir Abdullah came to perform Umrah, and when he came to his abode, and the people asked him about different things, and then they made mention of temporary marriage, whereupon he said, yes, we have been benefiting ourselves by the temporary marriage during the time of the Holy Prophet and during the time of Abu Bakr and Umar. So can you see that even after Muhammad, they still practice it during Abu Bakr and during the time of Umar? But the question is, okay, before we go to the question, let me quickly read another one. He said, Jubair bin Abdullah reported, we contracted temporary marriage, giving a handful of tail of flour or tails or flour as a dua during the time of Allah Messenger and during the time of Abu Bakr until Umar forbade it in the case of Ammar bin Urayt. Now the question is, why would Abu Bakr forbade what Allah has made lawful and what he did not prohibited and what he did not abrogated, and there was no verse to hit to Muhammad? And why is it that Umar sidelined Muhammad after he died and began to rule everything that he said that is made lawful by Allah or by the apostle? Why is he doing that? We might likely get to know that later on, maybe in the second phase of the presentation. Now, let me also read for you in Sahih Bukhari, in Tikab al-Tafsir, the traditional one, which is 4559. We read that the verse of Mut'a was revealed. Again, it was the fast, not the hadith of. It was the fast of Mut'a was revealed in Allah's book. So we did it at the time of Allah's apostle, and nothing was revealed in the Quran to make it illegal, nor did the prophet prohibit it till he died. Can you see the evidence now that there is no prohibition at all? But a man, who is that man? Uman that we just read. But a man who regarded it illegal, the man regarded it as illegal, expressed what his own mind suggested. Can you see? He forbade it. He said it is illegal. Now let me quickly move. I don't know if, okay, I still have little time. So in the testimony of Imam Ali, we are going to read series of sources now to prove that it was Umar that trampled on the face of Allah and his apostle, and people saw him as a wrongdoer for doing that. But does that mean that forbidding it, people are still not practicing? People still practice it. In fact, this same Umar said that it was adultery. You know, it has said it is illegal, but we will soon read that he said it is an adultery. Let me go to what Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti said in one of his tafsir in volume 2, page 140. He said that narrated Abdul Razak and Abdul Dawood in his book Nasik, and narrated in Jarrah from Al-Akam that he was asked whether the verse of Mut'a has been abrogated. He said no. Ali said that it is that if it were not Umar forbidding it, no one would commit the sin of fornication except the wretched. Then he said Shaki, that's an almost wrongdoer. Then we read again, Umar was the second caliph of Islam, for you to know that. We also read that after the death of the prophet, a group of Salaf deemed it Allah. Among the Sahaba, they were Asma bint Abi Bakr, Jabir bin Abdullah, Ibn Masud, Ibn Abbas, Muawiyah, Amron bin Urayt, Abu Sa'id, Salam Abu Mu'abed, the son of Umayyah bin Kalab. He said that Jabir reported from the companion that it was valid during the reign of the prophet. Abu Bakr and some part of Umar's reign. He said that it is reported from Umar he forbade it only if there were not two just witnesses. Some of the Tabi'in deemed it Allah. Such Tammuz Attar said Sa'id bin Jubair and the majority of jurists of Makkah, that is, these people consider it Allah. They did not forbid it. So the question is, why would they forbid what Allah has made lawful unto them? Again, we read what happened. What has been reported from Asma al-Nasir narrated it from Muslim Quri. We went before Asma bin Abu Bakr and we asked her about Muta al-Nisa. She replied, I performed this Muta during the life of Rasulullah. Then we also read from Sahih of Sahih Muslim by Imam Malawi. We read that Adrat woman was the first person to prohibited Mut'a. So Umar was the first person to prohibit it. We also read from Imam Badruddin al-Inin in his book. We read that we contracted temporary marriage till half of Umar Caliphate until he forbade it in the case of bin Arit. Then we also read from volume 7, page number 94 of Kanz al-Umar. He said that Umar Abdullah bin Abi Kutayma stated that a man come from Syria and said, calibration has been difficult for me. Arrange a woman for me with whom I can perform Mut'a. She replied by directing him to a woman with whom he entered into an agreement and brought forward just witnesses. He stayed with the woman for as long as Allah wanted him to stay and then left. Now, he now continued. Now, I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this carefully. Umar received information and summoned me and asked, is what happened true? He replied, yes. He, that is Umar, said, if he return, let me know. Upon his return, I informed Umar. He said, summon him. When the man went to him, Umar asked him, why did you do that? The man replied, I performed it during the lifetime of Rasulullah, and he never prohibited it until the time of his death. Then I practice. Please let me take this guy. And then I practiced it during the time of Abu Bakr, and he never prohibited it until the time of his death. I also practiced Mut'a during your reign, and you didn't narrated any evidence of his prohibition. Umar replied, by whom my soul is in his hand. If I had forbade this before today, I would have stoned you I would have stoned you. Declare it to the public so that they can distinguish Nikah from adultery. So Umar actually classified Mut'a as adultery. The question is, why would Umar classify such as adultery? And looking at the definition that we gave, it actually fits in with what the meaning actually is. So it is very disgusting to see this being practiced and used as a lifestyle during the prophet time, after him, until somebody consider it illegal and name it adultery. So I want to, because of my time, I want to quickly at least round up so that I will give time for people to ask me questions. Maybe by next week Sunday, then we'll continue and round up on it. So I will read two more sources, then I will stop for today. Then next week Sunday we can continue. So we can see so far that the reason to prohibit that the Mut'a was prohibited was made very clear by Umar. It was disgusting and it was an adultery to do that. Umar understood the practice that it really meant adultery, and that was why he told the man that, see, if I did it, I have prohibited it before this time, I will have stoned you to death. And he told him to declare to the general public now that this is Nikah, is either it is Nikah or this what we call Mut'a, which is adultery. So I said I'm going to read two more sources, then we do this. I will read from another source. As you can see on the screen, Umar climbed the pulpit and said during the lifetime of Rasulullah, three things were prohibited. So, this is where I'm going, then I will stop from there. The people that defend this thing will bring this particular hadith to want to defend it. That so you see now, Umar climbed the pulpit and said during the lifetime of the Rasulullah, three things were Allah and now deem them haram and shall punish those that practice them. Muta of Nisa, Muta of Hajj, and declare Ayah Allah Kari Ahmad. I don't know that meaning. So what I'm saying is that the question is that if actually this is one of the things that was what is it called? That was made unlawful, then according to the source we read earlier, we read that it was made unlawful and later on was made lawful. That was what we read the other time. That it was made unlawful, made lawful, or it's like off and on, and there was no evidence that it was abrogated or was cancelled. No, there was no verse to it, there was no hadith to it, and until the time of Umar. So if Muslims brought this idea that, oh, this particular hadith defend their position, then this is not the only one, because we read again that, please can you help me move that TV? He said, Umar said 2 Mut'a exist during Rasulullah time, and I know I now prohibited both of them. Now, can you see? But what we now read later on was that, which I'm going to show maybe next week, was that other things were prohibited. Garlic was prohibited. Also, what is it called, was prohibited. Eating of donkey. So if Allah actually prohibited Mut'a, and it's not supposed to be practiced today, then why are they still eating donkey meat, and why are they still eating garlic? The most people that eat garlic most are the Muslims. So why are they still eating garlic and also eating donkey meat? Where is in the verse of the Quran that was said that it was made lawful for them to eat garlic and also donkey meat, despite that this hadith was saying that they have prohibited Mut'a, and they want to use to defend it, because we have other hadith that said, I don't want to go far because of the time, my alarm has sounded now, so I can finish up next week. So that's the question we are going to build upon next week Sunday by the grace of God. So
all right, this is actually fascinating and it's beautiful. Now, if you're watching us right now, if you're a Christian, I know that some of you will find this jaw-dropping. Okay, you find it jaw-dropping, and you're like, oh my God, do we have something like this in the tradition of Islam? I mean, something like it legalized, just like our dear brother called it, it is fun sex. Okay. So in Nigeria right here, I don't know about other nations, but in Nigeria right here, you have what is called short time, just like our dear brother mentioned, where a man can go into a brothel, an hotel. It might not even be an hotel, it might just be on the roadside, and then you have a contract with a lady telling her that you want to have a moment with her, maybe about 1 hour, two of you agree, 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, or maybe a day or two. And then after that contract, I mean, you're done with the person. Okay, so it's just like it's basically a temporary relationship. Okay, and then we know that in our world today, religious folks would want to frown at something like that. They will say that no, this is not right. If you want to get married, you get married. You don't just have sex, outside of marriage and all of that. But we can see that this is something that is legalized within the Islamic faith. Okay, and we still have the Shia practicing this today, but for the most part, the Sunni, because they are ashamed of this and they do not want to, engage in this sort of discussion. Even if they're engaging, they will tell you that, hey, this thing has been prohibited. It is not something that, has continued on. But for the fact that the Prophet of Islam even allowed it in the very first place tells a whole lot. It means that, the God of Islam or the Prophet of Islam do not actually take marriage seriously. You can have sex outside of marriage. You can have fun outside of marriage, and then you can have them with multiple person, as you may wish, and that tells a whole lot. So really, thank you very much, brother TMD, for this presentation. So we're just going to give opportunity for those who want to ask questions. We're going to be taking 2 questions because of our time, and in the comment section right now, I'm not seeing any question. What I'm seeing is sort of a debate. I just want to quickly mention this, brother TMD, while you were talking. You did mention the Arabic dictionary. So I have this copy of the Arabic dictionary, a dictionary of modern Arabic by Answerer, and I looked up the word that you mentioned, and I can see that word here, AMR. Okay, and it says that the word means order. Okay, command, instruction, ordinance, decree, power, authority. So just like you did mention, it's not something that is talking about, a kind of permission. It is talking about an instruction. It's talking about an order. It's talking about a decree, and that's interesting. All right, especially when you're talking about, that verse or that narration that is talking about people being allowed, to do this sort of a thing. But it's not just being allowed. They were actually commanded, okay, to do this. So I didn't see any question in the comment section right here at the moment. All I'm seeing are comments from people, and then I can see a bit of a debate right here. Somebody's actually saying that, what we are saying, okay, say deception in Christianity, what you put on the screen from Wikipedia. So maybe we can just, address this within 1 minute and we can wrap up. So here's what Mustafa Kalu is saying. Deception in Christendom, what you put on the screen from Wikipedia about Mut'a is different from what you are explaining. It says temporary marriage. Why won't you say things exactly as it's written? In 1 minute, Brother TMD, how would you respond to this?
Well, thank you very much. When I started this presentation, I made mention that people derive meaning from the component of what the terms actually entails. Uh, it entails that you have a fixed period of time. People can also, if I want to derive another term, I can say marriage by giving what's it called, dowry to a woman temporarily. I can use that. So people can actually derive terms from, but what that word literally mean, the word
Mm-hmm.
is enjoyment or
Mm,
fun sex. It doesn't mean temporary marriage in that sense. It means
yeah.
that's why they call it Nikah al-Mut'ah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Brad TMD. We are so grateful. We're already run out of time. We're going to be calling it the day today, but be rest assured that we're still coming on your screen next week. So if you have questions, make sure you prepare them well, and we're going to be addressing that question. I want to thank everybody who have been with us right from the very beginning up until now. We're grateful for your hospitality. We're also grateful for your audience. I mean, we're actually doing this because of you. We want to empower you, and also for the Muslims. The reason why we're doing this is because of love. We love you, okay? That is why we're doing what we're doing. We want to see the beauty and the holiness of the God that we serve. I mean, how could God sanction something like this? How could God back something like this? It's like God backing adultery. And we're saying that, no, this is a no-no. We're saying that, no, this is not right. And we're saying that this is not coming from a holy God. And that is the reason why we're doing exactly what we're doing today. So we're going to be calling it a day today. Thank you again. TMD, we're hoping to have him next week so that we can continue and then we can have more Muslim engaged. I believe some of them would have read this, so they can have more Muslim come up right there and then they can engage with us. Again, thank you for everyone watching. We appreciate you. Next week, Lord willing, we're going to be with you again. Please, if you have Muslim friends, kindly share this video with them. Let them watch it and let them engage with this video. We want to have some of them come on next week so that they can ask us questions based on the sources. And if you notice tonight, what our dear brother have done is to take a look at the sources, examine them, and present it to us. And he's giving us more than enough sources, to back up his claim. So again, thank you for staying with us. Next week, we're going to be here again. Thank you very much. God bless you, and bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today on Seasoned Apologist Life, where we dive deep into the truths of our faith and equip you with the tools to defend it. We hope you found today's discussion enlightening and encouraging. Your engagement and support mean the world to us. We're here for you if you have any questions or comments, or just need someone to talk to. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. You can call us at +2 34707 347 5590. Visit our website at http://seasonedapologist.com or send us an email at info@seasonedapologist.com. We love hearing from our listeners and are always eager to connect. Don't forget to join us next week for another thought-provoking episode as we continue our journey in faith and understanding. Until then, stay blessed and keep the faith alive.